Hey folks, I hope you're well. Apologies for the lack of content over the last while. I've been down with a chest infection and had a few life things to deal with, but I did manage to get a bit of writing and research done and have a much better understanding of where I want to take this channel. Now with that in mind, today we're going to have a look at Samsung Note 9, a 6.4 inch edge-to-edge flagship that can handle the most intense gaming, split screen multitasking and media app use, all without skipping a beat. Now, Samsung were kind enough to send us out this review unit, and even better, I've been using it for about 3 months now. So let's take a deep dive into the Note 9. Note 9 comes in a multitude of colour options. Ocean blue, midnight black, lavender purple, metallic copper, cloud silver or alpine white. With blue and black being the only ones readily available in Europe. Our review unit is the more shy black. When the screen is off and the phone's sitting on your desk, Note 9 Midnight Black really doesn't stand out. The buttons are all black, the earpiece cutout and selfie camera blend in with the glossy glass finish, and the camera and fingerprint reader on the back fall in line with the simplistic business look. The overall effect being a modest, unassuming design concealing the phone's true power. Until you switch on the screen, at which point you'll realise Note 9 may take casual wear a little too far, but spruces up fierce quick. Although infinity display, Samsung's near bezel-less full frontal glass edge-to-edge screen is a definite factorisement. Note 9's 6.4 inch Super AMOLED 2960 by 1440 screen with 516 pixels per inch is a fact. It's gorgeous, the screen is bright with a good balance of saturation and contrast. But if you don't like the look out of the box, you can pick a few presets or mix up the RGB to your heart's content. The edges that don't exist are placed perfectly, almost unnoticeably on the bezel-less curved edge, with just enough space for holding while in landscape mode. And best of all, the design is kept simple with no notch added. There has been a lot of debate recently over whether or not the notch is a decent remedy for increased screen space while maintaining functionality. Personally, I'm glad Samsung chose not to use a notch here because the screen is large enough as is, and an asymmetrical display would feel cluttered. Basically, I think the notch should only be used on smaller phones where screen space is in need, but leave somewhere to grip the larger phones in portrait mode. The price will definitely throw a few people off, with the 512GB model coming in at €1200. You might be wondering if you are still paying by the inch for phones. And yes, that is still somewhat the case, but we're also treated to one of the best displays on the market. USB Type-C quick charge, a multitude of security features, dual camera setup with AI, stereo speakers tuned by AKG with Dolby Atmos, a heart rate sensor, S Pen, expandable storage, and they even fit in a 3.5mm headphone jack. If that wasn't enough for the price, then we can take a look at the specs and benchmarks. The specs alone will pique any phone enthusiast ears right up. But how do they perform? And does the water carbon coolant system on the Galaxy Note 9 sustain high performance during game time by preventing overheating of the cutting edge processor that cuts down on lag? Plus, does the AI based performance adjuster ensure your game stays smooth and not sluggish? Yes, is the short answer. But the phone can get a little too hot at times. Hot enough that I put the phone down for a couple of minutes to let the cooling catch up. Although I've never noticed any considerable performance issues, the heat is enough to make holding the phone a bit uncomfortable. And I'm sure if I had the time to play more than 3 rounds of PUBG Mobile at any one time, I might take issue with the heat. But to be honest, this is not a gaming phone. It can play games, but it's obviously secondary to productivity. Let's take a look at some of the benchmarks. The 4000mAh battery was put through its paces in the 3D Mark Android battery benchmark, all while receiving texts and updates from friends on social media and here at home. While for most, the European specs will be more than enough, a quick look at comparisons with other flagships might change your mind. Mate 20 Pro and Oppo Find X being very notable. With that said, it is nice to see that they didn't skimp out on storage. Let's have a look. Storing all your photos, music and video on your phone is for the most part a thing of the past. With clouds full of storage in every sky and online streaming services, there is less and less need for storage space on phones. But if you prefer to keep your feet on the ground, the 512GB with 8GB RAM might be your best option. Adding in an optional 512GB SD card will basically bring your storage to 1TB, allowing you to take full use of the 4K video camera and that lazy attitude to deleting unused apps. Personally, after using the 128GB model with 6GB of RAM for the past 2 months, I think most people will choose to save a few hundred and use the expandable storage in the future. So, what do we get in the box? You get a set of in-ear headphones by AKG and some extra silicone earbuds. USB Type-C cable, a charger, USB-B to C type adapter, an S Pen with some replacement tips, and the tool to remove them, and finally the SIM removal pin. Unfortunately, they provide no protective case or even a few cheap screen protectors, which, although I do appreciate the work that went into the earphones, they're not going to stop my phone from smashing to pieces on the first fumble. That said, the phone has been dropped a few times, a chest high fall and a desk drop onto wooden floors, which has caused a small indent on one corner. The included headphones, AKG EO IG955. I thought these were worth mentioning. Samsung collaborated with AKG to create these budget quality headphones. Now, considering you can buy a replacement set for about €20, they give a decent bass representation with an acceptable soundstage, and above average audio paired with a braided anti-tangle cable makes them a viable everyday, every place set of in-ear buds. The camera. Better phones exist right now if you're looking for a camera phone. Huawei Mate 20 Pro being my biggest recommendation, as Huawei AI alongside the triple Leica lens is unrivaled for one-shot stunning photos and video. And this is where Note 9 fails on the camera. It goes without saying that most photos taken with your phone are in the moment, and the last thing you want to do is fix your exposure and ISO, pick the right luma, check if the moment's gone. So, out of the pocket one-shot capabilities are a must in modern phones. Now, don't get me wrong, Note 9 has a great camera. The dual aperture lens ranges from f1.5 for low light shots to f2.4 for outdoor overexposed shots. There is an AI to help get the perfect picture on auto, but the real power of this camera is in pro mode, allowing full control over ISO, aperture, exposure, focus, white balance, and even a few tasty filters. All of this nested atop the ability to take 4K 12 megapixel photos or 4K 60 FPS video should be reason enough to sway the camera enthusiasts out there, but I fear it won't be snappy enough for the casual in-the-moment enthusiasts. Like you mentioned earlier, Note 9 is all about the features, and they didn't skimp on security, most notably biometrics and Knox, Samsung's data encryption vault for your mobile device. Note 9 uses 3 verifications to unlock your phone, and does it intelligently. This basically means whichever method unlocks the phone first wins. Face and iris scanning can be a bit hit or miss, but the fingerprint is a bit more reliable. I think positioning the fingerprint reader directly below the camera on a large phone makes reaching the sensor a little hard sometimes, but it reads reliably, provided you don't have sweaty fingers. Even though they might be a bit slower, on-screen fingerprint readers are the way to go, so I hope to see the next iteration of Note utilise this instead. And then there's Knox, a bit of an odd one. At first I thought it was a private folder where you could lock certain apps under media, but instead it's an encrypted space leveraging the defense-grade Samsung Knox security platform, protecting your important information from malicious attacks. With a cool addition, you can also add a fingerprint solely for secure folder, allowing you to go straight to the folder by unlocking the phone using that fingerprint. Next up, we've got Dolby Atmos. It's just another one of the many nice additions, allowing users to either experience Atmos wearing headphones, or you can even add some spatialization to your soundbar or TV by connecting the phone to them. Personally, I haven't had much use for the S Pen, even with its 4096 levels of pressure and 40-second charge time, but those who would use it will appreciate its presence and integration into the handset, unlike some other devices who treat the stylus like a common Bic pen. Using the S Pen is simple. Press it in at the bottom of the phone and it pops out immediately, activating Air Command, a floating menu with most of the apps that can take advantage of S Pen out of the box. You can create notes. Use Smart Select to select any text on the screen and convert it to copyable text. Write on the screen takes a screenshot and lets you scribble over it. Translate or live message, which is a bit of a gimmick, allowing you to create a small picture that when watched shows the strokes of the brush as the picture was drawn. The Edge tab. At first I was skeptical about this widget style feature, in the past favouring 2 or more home screens with widgets and apps arranged for easy access. But after taking time to get used to it, I found it useful to store my second most used apps, all while keeping my home screen count down to 1. Now, trying to get into the habit of using People, a modern speed dial list, proved too much, one too many swipes to make a call in my opinion. But if you like keeping an eye on performance and battery life, then device maintenance will be a handy tab for yourself. If that's not enough, Samsung upgraded Edge so you can add more panels like Smart Select, Clipboard, Reminders, Tasks, Weather, Quick Tools, Calendar, and a few news sources. There's also Bixby, yay, the offline AI which allows you a little more flexibility in what it can do, but at the cost of a decent voice recognition and a few other features. So, in conclusion, Note 9 is great for those who want a stylus, tons of storage, 3.5mm jack and a gorgeous screen. But if taking photos, having amazing battery performance and blazingly fast benchmarks is what you're looking for, then there are better options out there for you. Now, if you're set on Note 9, buying the India Asian version, which uses probably the most powerful GPU-CPU combo on the market right now, Snapdragon 845 with Adreno 630, might be the best option for those interested. Alright folks, that just about wraps it up for today. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button. If you disliked it, you can hit that one too. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. And yeah, I'm ObscureNameDigit. I'll see you in the next one.